Am I the asshole for asking a stranger to tone down her conversation in front of my kid? For context, we live in the southeastern US. Today my son asked to go to Waffle House for lunch to celebrate an achievement. My husband, son, and I sat in a booth adjacent to 3 late 20s early 30s women who had just sat down before us, with my back to their booth and my son and husband across from me. We ordered and are enjoying our food, and they are having an energetic conversation behind us. Not crazy loud, but loud enough for the three of us to hear them, and for me to cringe every time the woman facing our table dropped the F-bomb. After a while, I became uncomfortable with my kiddo hearing this conversation. I turned around in my seat and quietly asked them to please stop saying F in front of my son. The woman facing our table leaned forward and asked me to repeat myself. I did. She then responds that we are in a public place and that she has kids too. Then as this was happening, the waitress serving both our tables came by to check on them, and she complained to the waitress that I was being rude. I turned back to my table, requested to-go boxes from the waitress, and didn't say anything further to the party behind me. I could certainly hear them talking about how offended they were, and commenting that next time we should go to IHOP. I guess because it's more family-friendly? I was flabbergasted. I was expecting them to laugh it off, not get prickly that I had the audacity to make such a request. Am I the asshole? You're the asshole. The fact that you were upset over a few fucks being said in a conversation, which is the tamest thing you will ever see here at a Waffle House. Your child is going to hear people cuss, that's just part of life. And they had every right to be offended. You bothered them for no reason. You're the asshole. It's awful waffle. You're lucky if 1/3 of the clientele in there is sober. Just ask to be moved if it's that bothersome. You're the asshole. You did have the audacity though. You don't have the right to police other people's conversations. If you don't like it, then you leave. That is the only acceptable solution. Imagine being so entitled that you think you can tell others how to talk in public. You're the asshole. It's not appropriate to criticize people's language in public. It's just a word. Your child will be okay. You're the asshole. Yeah, I wouldn't be cool with a stranger trying to police my language in public either. If you want to protect your kids' ears, don't take them to Hangover Central. Ma'am, this is Waffle House. ETA, you're the asshole. You're the asshole. When you take your kids in public, you should expect others to be existing in public. Just because you have your kids with you doesn't mean everyone else needs to change their behavior. ETA, I say this as a parent. You're the asshole. To criticize others' language in public is very annoying. Sometimes it feels very insulting when pointed out by random strangers. Don't use FK really? They aren't bound to behave just because you have a child. And as you stated yourself, they weren't being crazy loud and disturbing others. You just happened to be seated beside them. You're the asshole. The world does not have to stop and censor itself for your son. It is absolutely ridiculous of you to go around playing language police in a public place. And to other adults, who do you think you are? You could have skipped the drama and just grabbed those to-go boxes without a word if it bothered you so much. That's really all you have a right to do in this situation. You're the asshole. They were already seated when you chose to sit near them. Life's reality is that people are going to have conversations while dining in public and no one can predict it. If you worry about what your child will hear, sit away from people. You're the asshole. You interrupted their conversation. It's just a word. If you were uncomfortable, you should have moved your family. You're the asshole. As I tell my kids, different people have different rules and we just worry about ourselves. If you have a rule to not curse in front of your children, That fine. But others don't have to accommodate that. You should have asked for a different table if it bothered you that much. Why would you expect them to laugh it off? That's a weird thought to have. You're the asshole. Not because you didn't want them dropping F-bombs around your kid, but because you thought it would be a good idea to tell other adults how to behave while in a Waffle House. Like that could have been an actual fight on your hands. IDK, what is Waffle House? But you're the asshole. It's a public place, and if you were offended by their conversation, you could ask the waiter if you and your family could move to other table. Your first mistake is thinking Waffle House is a treat or place to celebrate rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing. You can't police what people say. I used to tell my kids, you will hear these certain words, but I don't expect to hear you repeat them. Honestly, they heard worse on the playground. I care about the atmosphere where I choose to eat. I haven't been in a Waffle House since the 80s. And it appears that may be a trend to follow. Honestly, nah. It's fucking Waffle House. Half of the fight videos on the internet are from Waffle House. You aren't an ass for asking, but what you did was basically walk into a strip club and ask a stripper not to strip. Haha, I can't believe all the responses here. I fucking love to curse, and I'm going to raise my kids to curse properly and make sure they know where it's appropriate, inappropriate. But even still, you're not the asshole just for asking for someone to rein it in a bit. They can say no, but just asking isn't an asshole move. WTF lol. Not the asshole. I swear like a sailor, but I moderate in public regardless of whether I'm at Buck House or the Waffle House. You're the asshole. Waffle House is known for fights, brawls breaking out. And you're okay with taking your kid there knowing that. But your kid will suffer irreparable harm from someone saying fuck. Is that right? You're the asshole. Your 8-year-old has both heard and said fuck more times than you can count. Mind your business in public. You're the asshole. Sorry. In public places, you have no right to control what comes out of people's mouths. Don't like it? Take your kid and leave. Like, I don't like crying babies or noisy children on airplanes. Literally. The last flight I was on, the 3-year-old girl was banging her tray table up and down. Do I have a right to tell her parents to make her stop? Nope. But do I have a right to give death glares? Damn right I do. And they got the hint. Not the asshole. There's no harm in asking, and I'm surprised people are calling you the asshole for this. She's not obligated to stop either. But it's always weird to me how offended people get when asked to make other people's lives more comfortable at little expense to their own comfort. Another entitled parent who thinks the world should revolve around their kid. You're in the friggin' Waffle House. You want church behavior? Go to your local diner. YTA. Not the asshole. You have as much right to ask ugly talking people to tone it down as they have to say no. They were likely embarrassed by your request to be civil in public and responded like adolescents in behavior. Not the asshole. It was fine to ask politely. Lol, one time a mom flipped out on my friend for using the F word in convo. He said, "Listen, lady, I just said a word. You're the one teaching him right now that it's a bad fun word." I think describing words as bombs is worse than saying fuck or cunt. Bombs maim and kill. Not the asshole. It was lunchtime, not 2 a.m. I'm going to go against the others here and say you're not the asshole. You were just advocating for your child. You asked nicely. And you didn't cause a scene. It's really not a big deal. People get so upset sometimes.
Am I the asshole for not going to my sister's wedding? I have been married to my wonderful wife for a year. My sister is getting married October 1st. I'm happy for her, but I'm not attending the wedding. Sister is one of the angriest people I've ever met. Mom brushes it off because sister's a tiny blonde who weighs 105 pounds soaking wet, but she has rages that can last for days. If you do something she disapproves of, she'll scream and sob and break things. It's been this way our whole lives, and she's never once faced consequences or admitted to wrongdoing. Well, if you can't guess from the fact that I'm posting here, I did something she didn't like, and her response led me to block her on everything. If I'm the asshole for doing this, I'm ready to accept my judgment. But I think I made the right decision. I'm the only boy in my family. When I married wife, I took her last name. I did it for practical reasons. My last name was hard to pronounce spell, and hers is a word. Think Jessica Rabbit or Grace Slick. That's my wife. She never has to spell it out or help pronounce it, and ever since I took her name, I've been significantly happier. I work on a construction site, and even the meatheads there said, "Wow, that's much easier." Good call. Sister who didn't attend my wedding, FDR, was absolutely furious when I told her. Screamed at me, called my wife an emasculating abusive bitch, said she was going to start calling me Mrs., and that wife's not invited to the wedding. I said if wife isn't invited then I'm not invited, we're a package deal. Sister told us both to fuck off, and I thought that was the end of it. We didn't speak for months, but then a wedding invitation arrived in the mail. It was addressed to me. Just me, using my old name. No acknowledgement of my new name or my wife. I swear, if sister had simply addressed the invitation to Mr. and Mrs. new name, I would have taken it as a sign that she felt remorse. Wife agrees that the gesture would have gone a long way. But instead sister decided to toss in what felt like a final petty dig. I told sister we would only attend if she apologized for calling my wife a bitch. She refused, accused us of giving her an ultimatum, and said we were punishing her for having an opinion. I no longer care that it's my sister's wedding. I refuse to subject my wife to what will surely be an abusive train wreck. Now that the wedding is only a few weeks away, my family's been hounding me non-stop. They don't understand how I could miss my sister's big day, and they think she can't be held accountable for her actions because planning a wedding is stressful. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. X200B. Mark that piece of mail unknown, return to sender and send it right back to her. Not the asshole. They were okay with sister missing your big day. They were okay with her being abusive when you were planning your weddings. Keep her in timeout. Punishing her for having an opinion. She has rights to have an opinion, but that doesn't mean her opinion won't have consequences. She doesn't get a say about your life choices. Finally, she has disrespected you and your wife by using your old name. It's not an opinion, it's deliberate disrespect. I'd have made all of those conversations public on Facebook and then blocked her. Not the asshole. Miss my sister's big day. Why would you want to go? She is insufferable and mean. Family doesn't obligate you to endlessly be abused. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If your sister behaves like this, then I'm sure you will be able to attend one of her future weddings. It will only be a matter of time before she ruins her spouse's life and ends up alone. Maybe your sister is hungry? Buy her a box of Snickers and mail it to her as your wedding gift. Not the asshole. Size is irrelevant. Your sister is abusive, period. For some reason your family continues to not only enable it, but expect for others to accept this pathetic behavior. While they're prepared to accept, why on earth would you? And shame on your parents for allowing her to treat their other kid and his wife this way. They suck, too. I feel sorry for your sister's husband and any poor kids if she chooses to have any. The sister is a real peach. What does his mom mean by making her go alone? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I wouldn't go either. This is classic narcissistic behavior by your sister. Besides, technically, the invite wasn't really addressed to you, was it? Not the asshole. X200B. This is one of those cases where the family is hoping the sane reasonable person will suck up all the BS so that they can pretend everything is lovely. Your sister sounds like a horror. Neither you nor your wife deserve to be treated that way. I would have no interest in having a relationship with your sister, but I do love the way you are sticking up for your wife. That part is outstanding. You are definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. You aren't even remotely an asshole here. Your sister's behavior sounds appalling and abusive. Going to her wedding would be enabling her and would send the message that it's okay for her to continue acting in this way. You are 100 doing the right thing, and it sounds as though you are better steering way clear of her and perhaps other family members too. My husband's family fell out with us after we got engaged and displayed a lot of toxic behavior, ending in them giving him an ultimatum: me or them. He chose to cut them out and says he's so much happier for it. No toxicity now. Not the asshole. Protect yourself and your wife from your angry crazy sister. Not the asshole. Some people are just toxic and sis sounds like one of them. Going Elsie or North Carolina with her seems a good idea. First step, skip the wedding. To all the people saying how could you miss your sister's wedding? Remind them about how she missed yours. If you attend the wedding, stand by your wife. Your sister is toxic and your family is enabling her. Not the asshole. Not by a long shot. It's not that you're punishing her for having an opinion, it's that you're setting a boundary and sticking to it. From the sounds of things, your sister has never met a boundary she can't bust, destroy, and has never, ever been held accountable for her actions. The family has enabled her probably because it's easier than incurring her wrath. And yeah, planning a wedding is stressful. That doesn't mean you get to take a pass on being a decent human being though. Wow, what the hell is wrong with the rest of your family by enabling her? Not the asshole. You and your wife should plan a weekend away to completely avoid any family members during the wedding. I would keep your phone on mute and have a great time with no drama. Your sister is a train wreck and hopefully she will grow up or her marriage will not last very long. Not the asshole. You weren't invited, why would you go? Good for you for sticking up for your wife. Not the asshole. I would have sent it returned to sender, no one hear it with that name. Why didn't the sister go to your wedding? Just curious. BTW, totally not the asshole. Sister's a tiny blonde who weighs 105 pounds soaking wet, but she has rages that can last for days. If you do something she disapproves of, she'll scream and sob and break things. It's been this way our whole lives, and she's never once faced consequences or admitted to wrongdoing. So your sister is really the golden hair child. Well, now she is facing the consequences. Since it was said the other sibling backed out as well. Natar. I get it with the name change. I have one of those last names that no one wants to try to pronounce. Not the asshole. You told her the boundary and she crossed it, thus telling you, non-verbally, that she does not want you at the wedding, and she doubled down on this by using the wrong name. Do no go. Let her finally have consequences for her behavior. I can only imagine the shitstorm that the wedding is going to be. Grimacing face, so many things go wrong on the day of that with her short fuse. It's going to be more dramatic and explosive than a telenovela. Not the asshole. My late brother was a sadistic narcissist with massive rage issues, way more than a temper. By the time he was 9 he was proud of the fact he could inflict pain and not leave a mark. The second best day of my life was the day he moved out of state after his divorce. All of us cut contact with him for good. Sister is one of the angriest people I've ever met. To sister. If you read this, you suck. Your anger is no reason based on who you are. Get an anger management, you elephant brain. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your sister sounds like a psycho. A therapist once told me, every family is ruled by its most emotionally volatile member. That would be your sister. I have spoken. Am I the asshole? For not giving my husband's sister my puppy. I and my husband went to his sister's 13th birthday party this weekend. She decided she wanted to have her birthday party at a local river. We live in the Midwest. My husband and I just got a puppy a few days ago and thought it would be fun to bring her to see if she liked the water, let everyone see her for the first time, etc. When we got there, everyone was super excited to see that we brought a puppy. Everyone was petting her and playing with her. My Mill asked me if the puppy was for my Sil. I said no, that this was my husband and I's puppy. She knew that we had just gotten a new puppy. She held the puppy for a bit and gave her back and all seemed fine. My Sil started opening her gifts when she finally noticed the puppy in my arms and asked me if Mill had finally let her get a puppy for her 13th birthday. Before I could even say anything, Mill said yes. Sil bursted into tears about finally having a puppy and then came over to me and tried to take the puppy. I was in shock at what just happened and kinda just let her take the puppy out of my hands. Eventually I went over to my Mill and asked her WTF she was thinking. She told me that my Sil had been asking for a puppy for years, and she said, "You don't mind, do you?" I was taken aback. I couldn't believe my Mill just gave away my puppy without even asking me. I took my Sil over to the side and told her that the puppy was mine and I wanted her back. She started throwing a fit and literally screaming. I just took the puppy back and my husband and I left. When we got back home, I was bombarded with texts and phone calls from everyone at the party asking me why I took the puppy away from Sil. My Sil and Mill are very angry with me, and I just need to know, am I the asshole? Edit. Her birthday party was at the river. Many people had brought their dogs to the party. I also did not know she had been asking Mill for a puppy. They have 2 dogs. Edit. To my husband is 100 on my side. We both didn't want to make a scene about it. He has called his mom and texted his family since the incident. We aren't communicating to anyone about it right now because it has been overwhelming. He had told his mom about us getting a new puppy multiple times, even invited the family over to our house for dinner so they could also meet the puppy, but they had a football game to go to. This was 2 days before her party. Not the asshole. Mill is the instigator of this whole scenario. She had no right to presume she could take your puppy and give it away to Sil, especially when Mill knew full well it was yours. I would make the situation clear to anybody who dares to ask you what happened. Not the asshole who just tells someone else they can have someone's pet. That's weird, and the kid is 13 and old enough to know she can't have everything. Your Mill sucks and I wouldn't feel bad at all. It's your dog. Obviously not the asshole. TA is your Mill. She created the situation, she should be cleaning it up. Want to make amends? Your Sil? Tell her you'll give her a puppy, but not yours. And further, explain to her that the puppy you have was never meant to be a gift for her, that her own mother created all of that drama. X200B. Sheesh, what a poor excuse for a mom, Mill. Not the asshole. Your Mill literally stole your dog out of your hands. You retrieved it and left. I'd explain that to everyone who texts. And no, it's not your responsibility to play along with your Mill's lies. She can get a different puppy for her child. Not the asshole. It's your dog. What were they thinking? Not the asshole, but why didn't you shut her down when she said it and not let Sil think it was hers? Not the asshole. That is some weird shit. What was Mill thinking? How is this even a questions? She can go get a puppy elsewhere. Not the asshole. Tell everyone who wants to know that your Mill blindsided you and blatantly lied. Who the hell does something like that? Your husband also should be having a conversation with his mother about boundaries from the sounds of it. What an awful situation to put you in. Not the asshole, but your Mill sure is. She set her daughter up for upset and disappointment. Let her pick up the pieces. Not the asshole. Where was your husband in all this? He needed to take control of his mom and handle this. Your Mill is a total R. Not the asshole. ESH. You should have said, no, this is our new puppy. You should have never handed over your puppy, which is why you get an A. That automatically made it look like it was for her. Mill is for so many reasons. Where is your husband in all this? You don't know if you're right or not for not being manipulated and guilted into giving something that belongs to you to someone else? Really? Can't you correct all the people who bombarded you? Not the asshole. That poor kid, too. Your Mill was willing to traumatize her own child just to pull a power play on you. WTF? And not the asshole. If she wants your baby house, car, jewelry, will Mill want you to give that to her too? Yeesh, that's weird. I was in shock at what just happened and kinda just let her take the puppy out of my hands. Not the asshole. This is where you made the huge mistake. You should have said, I don't know what your mom is talking about, this is husband and my dog. I mean, no, not the asshole. But how did Sil go the whole party until it was time for presents to notice your puppy and then ask if it was for her? Not the asshole. Whoever stirs the shit should lick the spoon. All you needed to do was say no, not this puppy, Nana has a puppy for you at home. Then she can deal with the fallout. Not the asshole. Your Mill is a real pile of merd. I do have some empathy for your Sil because she probably doesn't realize what a horrible, lying biatch her mom is, or how emotionally manipulative her mom can be. Your Mill tried to steal your puppy. If she wants her daughter to have a puppy, they should go to the pound and pick out a puppy, not steal yours. Do apologize to your Sil and family, saying I'm so sorry that Mill lied about us giving you her the puppy. She knew it was our puppy and I specifically told her that it wasn't your gift. I don't understand why Mill did such an often very mean thing. Not the asshole. In-laws can't dog sit, can't come over unless you or your so is there and take back any spare keys. Mill's behavior was disgusting and I wouldn't put it past her to try something like taking the puppy and making you the bad guy again when you have to take it back from a 13-year-old. We just got a puppy about a month ago, and I would already either take a bullet for her or wipe out a whole fucking family that tried to take her. Either way, she's already a core member of our family and Mill can fuck right off. Tell everyone that Mill lied. Just tell them all the truth. Starting with Sil. You did nothing wrong. Make sure people know it. Make sure they know that Mill was told the puppy was not a present and was yours. Not the asshole, but we're also going to need puppy tax. Not the asshole. That's nuts. You told her it was your puppy. If she wanted her to have one, then say yes, but not theirs. I'm taking you to choose your own. Mother-in-law definitely sabotaged you. I guess we can deduce what kind of person she is. Not the asshole. And well done for not just slapping her, because if someone gave away my pet and had the audacity to say you don't mind, do you? I'd have been arrested. I also would have just loudly asked why Mill was too cheap to get her daughter her own dog instead of trying to steal mine. Not the asshole. Your Mill sounds like Ed Ursley. Info: is your puppy fully vaccinated? Was introducing your Sil to your new puppy at her birthday a good idea? No, it was not. This doesn't make you an R though. You know what does make someone an R? Promising someone else's pet to their daughter, and just assuming everyone will go along with it like it is an okay and normal thing to do. Not the asshole. Your Mill definitely is though. I would throw her under the bus. I'm sorry your mother promised you something that wasn't hers to give. I love my puppy and cannot give him up, but your mother is free to adopt a dog and bring it into a loving home if she wants to. You are definitely not the asshole. It's your puppy. Tell your mother-in-law you are gonna give away her daughter, since you have some friends trying to adopt a teen. You don't mind, do you? Not the asshole. WTF is wrong with her? Go no contact. Defined not the asshole, but I cringed when you brought a new puppy to a 13-year-old's b-day. Of course she was going to think it was a present for her. Mill was the real Arto who does that, especially after you told her directly it wasn't a present.
Am I the asshole? For refusing to change the color of my sister's bridesmaid dress, even though she hates it? I can't believe I'm posting about this, but I really need some insight. I am getting married to my fiancé in November. We're really excited and the day is fast approaching. I have 5 women being my bridesmaids. One of them is my sister, Millie. Millie has always been more of a tomboy growing up but doesn't have an issue with wearing dresses for formal events. I want my bridesmaids to wear matching dresses, which everyone knew when they accepted. I bought and paid for the dresses. They're a relatively simple style and in a pastel pink color. Millie is now angry and saying she won't wear the dress because it's pink and too girly. She's even threatening to not attend the wedding anymore unless I return her dress and pick out another color. I'm distraught that she'd make such a problem out of a dress color when she knew I wanted the bridesmaids to match. I think Millie is being dramatic and could deal with wearing the dress for one day, but TBH, my feelings are really hurt that she'd threaten to drop out of the wedding over this. My fiancé thinks I should kick her out of the wedding party before she causes bigger problems. Closer to or on the day, my parents got themselves involved in this and told me to just exchange the dress for the same one in a different color and that we're both acting like children. Would I be the asshole if I told Millie to suck it up and wear the dress if she wants to be a bridesmaid and not budge on the issue? Not the asshole. Whether she is a tomboy is irrelevant. She agreed to be a bridesmaid. This is what you chose. I'd have more sympathy in the event the style was extremely low cut, it didn't fit a busty woman, or something of that nature. Simply hating the color? Deal with it. It's one day, she didn't have to pay for it. Not the asshole. Give her 2 options. Wear the dress. It's one day. Pink isn't going to make her suddenly turn into Elle Woods. Don't wear the dress and come as a guest or don't attend. Her choice. If you give in on one thing, she's just going to keep throwing tantrums. I don't want flowers there. Girly. You makeup? Girly. I don't do my hair like that. Too girly. Don't let there be any more arguments. Don't listen to anyone else other than fiancé. Not the asshole. It's a color. It won't change her whole identity to wear pink for one day. Face with rolling eyes. P.S. I despise the color pink with the passion. Especially pastel pink. If my sister or best friend asked me to wear it for their wedding, I'd say yes ma'am. Maybe gripe to my husband in private. But still wear it. Not the asshole, and I would give Millie a choice. This is the dress. Wear it or don't be in the bridal party. Those are the choices. You are not unreasonable to ask her to wear the dress in the color you've chosen for your wedding. I think that your best choice is going to be to tell her that you want her in the wedding. But the dress is the dress is the dress, and if she's more unhappy about the color than she wants to be your bridesmaid, then you understand and you will find someone else or simply have 4 bridesmaids. Tell her you need her decision ASAP. And if she agrees to stay in the wedding, you don't want to hear any more complaints from her or your parents. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Don't budge. She is being so selfish and ridiculous. It's your wedding day and she is making it about herself. She seriously can't suck it up and wear pink for one day? If she wants to make a fool of herself and back out of the wedding over something so childish and stupid, let her. She'll be the one regretting it when she looks back years from now. You just focus on enjoying her day. And try not to worry about her bad attitude. The way she's acting isn't fair to you. Info. Did no one know the color of the dresses before you bought them? I don't understand how this could have been a surprise. I assume you chose wedding colors and people were aware of them. Either way, not the asshole. It's your wedding. She doesn't have to be a bridesmaid. Not the asshole. Let it be up to her. She can wear the dress with a smile and be a bridesmaid. Or wear what she wants and not be a bridesmaid. You're not the asshole. My parents got themselves involved in this and told me that we're both acting like children. No. Only one of you is stamping her foot and threatening to take her ball and go home. And it isn't you. I read a lot of posts about entitled brides driving their friends and families crazy with over-the-top demands. Asking your sister to wear pink is not over the top. I wouldn't kick her out of the wedding. But hold firm to your color choice. Tell her if she chooses to drop out because of this, it will make you very sad. But you won't fight her. Let her paint herself into that corner. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I hate pink with a passion. And I wore it in my cousin's wedding. And it had ruffles. It's one day. It's less than one day. Your sister can wear it or she can bow out. Not the asshole. Ultimatum time. Either be a bridesmaid and wear the dress or not be a bridesmaid. Dress is already paid for. Bridesmaids match, that's it. If she doesn't want to wear it, that's fine. Tell her no one is forcing you to be a bridesmaid. You can drop out and just come as a regular guest. It's your choice. Your parents are trying to make peace, but at the same time they need to get a pair and tell the baby of the family to stop acting like one. Not the asshole. My sister is making me wear the ugliest shade of orange I have ever seen. The material is unflattering and so is the cut. I will happily wear the dress because it is not about me and it's what she wants. Not the asshole. Your fiancé is right, kick her out now. Not the asshole. I'd take her up on her offer to not be part of the wedding party and not attend the wedding if she's really going to stick to it. I imagine you want her to participate. But she and your parents are being ridiculous. Your parents maybe more so than your sister for enabling her horrible attitude. Millie is too old to be hanging on to the hatred of pink that half of teenage girls have. She's a grown-up. She can wear the dress or she can attend as a guest in a different one. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Is she the golden child? Not the asshole. Tell Millie that Copernicus called and it turns out she's not the center of the universe. Edit. My parents got themselves involved in this and told we're both acting like children. This is insulting both to you who is acting like a reasonable, responsible adult in this situation, and to all children who, unlike Millie, wear shit they don't want to weddings all the time without throwing a tantrum. Not the asshole. If she's always this difficult, you shouldn't budge. On the off chance that your sister is usually pretty chill and just has an issue with the dress, it would be worth talking to her about it. Maybe give her the option of only wearing the dress during the ceremony. And then after a few photos, let her change into an outfit that she likes. But it's totally up to you. And wanting her to wear the dress does not make you an Not the asshole. Stick to it. All of your other bridesmaids are able to do this and have already paid for their dresses. She wants to be extra. But it's not her day for that. Tell her you understand that she would prefer to pull out of the bridesmaid role rather than wear the dress, and that's cool with you. Then make sure you set some broad but reasonable limits on what she can wear as a guest, because she sounds like the type to continue to throw a tantrum and grandstand in other ways, i.e. she'll want to wear a white dress or a Morticia's dress from the Addams Family or something styled like it's a Broadway musical costume. Not the asshole. This is your wedding, so these decisions are yours. What a selfish brat. Tell her that is the dress and she doesn't want to wear it, then she's not a bridesmaid. Bridesmaids are supposed to support the bride, not create problems over nothing. Not the asshole and call her bluff. I'm not going to attend the wedding. Okay. Don't feed into Millie's drama. Make it seem like it's not a big deal. Not the asshole. I like your fiancé's suggestion. Do you know anyone who is the same size? Am I the asshole for insisting a final wish of my late wife be honored over her mother's objection? My wife of 11 years together for 19 unexpectedly passed away in her sleep recently at aged 45. She had no known health problems and results are still pending. About 4 months ago, we unofficially separated. Nothing legal. She got her own apartment. We were still very civil. It was 100% my fault. I have severe depression and anxiety plus ADHD and recently diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. She had to get away. Fortunately, I got a therapist and someone to manage my meds and I really feel I'm on the right road, long road to walk, but right road. She had always kept the door open to possibly reconciling in the future if my mental health improved. Just ran out of time. There were a few things we discussed over the years about her final wishes. One had to do with her sorority pin. It seems like a small deal, but she was 100% certain she wanted to follow all their traditions. One of which is sending the pin back to headquarters after the service. Her mother is totally against this and wants to keep it. She doesn't even want to display it the correct way at the service. Since we were unofficially separated, I am still then next of kin, so technically I have all the decision-making power. I am putting my foot down on this and demanding we respect her final wishes. I'm willing to compromise on other items but the ones that we discussed, and I'm 100% sure what her wishes are. I am not. I am being called an asshole for trying to override a grieving mother. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole, sorry for your loss. If it was important enough for your late wife to specify this request from you, then it's your responsibility to handle it for her. You can give her mother her graduation cap and gown, or pictures, whatever, but this was something she felt strongly enough about to tell you and ask you to do this for her. It would be kind and respectful for you to follow her last wishes. Not the asshole. Honoring your late wife's final wishes is the most respectful and loving thing you can do. My heartfelt condolences. Not the asshole. Very sorry for your loss. Honoring your wife's wishes shows that you love and respect her. I'm not sure how this would make you an Also, it seems like you are being mindful that her mother is going through an unbearable loss right now. Would it still be honoring your wife's wishes to keep the pin for the time being and return it at a later date when emotions aren't so raw? Not the asshole, legally and morally right here. Not the asshole. Technically the pin is the property of the organization. Most sororities dictate the pin must be returned, buried with the decedent, and properly placed or passed down to a legacy member. Not the asshole. Sorry for your loss, Op. Not the asshole. People like your mill are why I wrote down my wishes after death. And why I double signed up to be an organ donor despite having an opted in until you opt out system in the UK. I understand grief makes people do silly things and keep mementos, however, if it was important enough for your late wife to mention it, it must be done. Not the asshole. Good on you for looking out for your late wife's wishes. If that's what she wanted, then that should be the final say. You're doing what her daughter made clear she wanted. It's not ambiguous or open to interpretation. It's what she very clearly laid out. There is just an awful situation. I understand feeling honor bound to carry through her wishes. However, given your relationship status, if it were me, I'd probably concede to the mother. But cannot emphasize enough that nobody should be called an asshole here. Funny. You made it too easy. I can tell you who you are and who your legally separated wife was. X200B. You're the asshole. You're playing one side, relying on people not knowing what really happened. Not the asshole. I'm sorry for your loss. Odd question. Thought, does the sorority have like memorial pins? That way, your mill can still have a pin in honor of her daughter. And your wife's last wishes can be honored. Not the asshole. Could you take a photo of the pin for Mill before sending it back to the sorority? Info. Do you have kids? What do they say? Not the asshole. Sorority pins can only be buried with the member. Sent back or passed to a legacy. It was in the oath she took joining. Not the asshole. Does your wife have a sorority sister friend that could help explain and verify the tradition of returning the pin? They might even have a special ceremony for retiring the pin that the mother could participate in. My sorority also requests pins be returned to HQ when a person dies. They aren't reused. I think they are archived and maybe some are on display. Even though you were unofficially separated, I don't believe that grieving mother trumps grieving spouse. You know what she wanted done with the pin. You are the one that gets to decide. You do what you feel is right. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You're honoring her wishes. I'm so sorry for your loss. Is there a local chapter of her sorority in town? Anyone that you can reach out to advise you on what to do when a member dies? Aside from that, maybe some of her sisters or a representative from the sorority might want to attend the funeral. Not the asshole for wanting to honor wife's wishes, but please be kind to her grieving parents. I saw someone mention to take a picture of the pin and have it specially framed with cloth or something. That is a very sweet gesture and I'm sure you Mill would appreciate it. My mom passed last year and I can't bring myself to throw anything away. Everything seems to hold such sentimental value to me. So, please give your Mill some grace. Not the asshole. Societal customs and laws deem you as the person who makes this decision. I agree it's the right decision. Unless, of course, the reason you send the pin back is so that they can sell it to somebody else. Then that's just greedy and icky. Not the asshole. Grieving mother does not get to override dead daughter's wishes or the person left to enforce them. Anyone who thinks anyways is TA. You're the asshole because you're trying to do the right thing. But her mom is still around to be hurt by this. Mementos are how the living stay connected to the departed. I think the fact that your wife left you should have some bearing on how we interpret your proper standing. You are taking advantage of the situation. I would give the pin to her with the understanding that she wear it at the service and that one day, maybe in a year, she'll be ready to send it back to the sorority. That day may come or it may not. But it's too soon now. Not the asshole. Sorry for your loss. Don't let your Mill take that pin home with her after the service. If she does that, you will never see it again. She wants it on the memento table because it will be easier for her to remove it and take it home with her. If the pin is on your late wife, Mill will have a harder time getting her hands on it. Tell the funeral home that Mill is to not be given any of your wife's jewelry, including the pin, when the time comes for them to prep her for cremation. Instruct them to contact you even if Mill says you okayed it. Sorry for your loss, but she is gone. She's not gonna know one way or the other. Her mother, on the other hand, has lost her child and it could help her to move on. It's a sorority pin, not a wedding ring. YTA. I'm from the UK though, and sororities have always seemed a bit ridiculous tbh. Nah. So sorry for your loss. Tell Mill you still love your wife. And that is why honoring her wish is so important to you. Cry together. Not the asshole. I'm sorry for your loss and your situation. I'm adding in my perspective as a person who is unofficially separated, legally still married, but have been completely apart for half a decade. Part of why I'm not rushing for a legal divorce is that I'm aware that my ex-spouse knows about and will follow my final wishes, where anyone else who would be next of kin would not. Am I the asshole for not wanting to follow my boyfriend's strict diet? I have been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years now, Everything has been going rather well aside from his diet that he presses me to follow as well, which I am not comfortable with. To give some context, I have never been skinny nor have I ever had any interest in being skinny. I'm not huge, just not thin. I ended up losing quite a bit of weight a couple of years ago prior to getting with my boyfriend, so I was pretty thin at that point due to severe depression. Once he and I moved in together, we had eaten anything we wanted and went out to eat quite frequently. I never ended up gaining weight from this until starting birth control to give him peace of mind. I have never been able to conceive children, so the thought of BC was very redundant to me, but from his paranoia in possibly getting me pregnant forced me into making the decision to get the depot shots. I went to Planned Parenthood and did it. I was on the shot for 9 months and it made me gain all of the weight I had lost back and even more. My body has not been the same since. Now for the actual reasoning of this post. My boyfriend has put himself on a strict diet and has been pressuring me to follow this diet, count my calories, etc. But I'm just not interested in doing this. I can't help but feel like he is losing attraction to me from how frequently he presses this diet on me. Every time I get something for myself that doesn't fit within his diet, he tells me no and to put it back because I don't have the calories for that, and it just makes me sick to my stomach every time, so I decide against getting it. I just don't know what to do or say to make this stop because it has started to plummet my self-esteem. I love him and he's no doubt an amazing boyfriend to me. But I just need to know if I'm the one in the wrong for not wanting to follow this diet with him. Not the asshole. He's not an amazing boyfriend. He is a controlling one, pressuring you into doing stuff you don't want. Do you want to spend your life being controlled? Eat what you want. Make it clear he doesn't get to say no. He can accept it or it's over. Not the asshole. I would lean towards ending this relationship, especially as someone with a history of eating disorders. But that's just my personal take. It's not at all appropriate for your boyfriend to try to get you to follow his strict diet, and I would draw a huge boundary if ending this relationship isn't an option you have on the table. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do, but I'm telling you to stop pushing your diet onto me. Your behavior is controlling and inappropriate. If you want to buy something for yourself, buy it. Don't let this idiot control you like this. You're not in the wrong. He sounds awful. Not the asshole. This is a huge red flag. He made you go on BC because he was paranoid yet not bothered enough to wear a condom? Nah. Much better to pump you full of hormones instead, and now he's got the audacity to make you feel bad about yourself? I'm sorry, but no. He can get in the bin. Not the asshole. You need to wake the fuck up. Pressuring you into birth control despite being infertile should have been the first red flag. Now he's policing your diet and body. If you don't do something now, it will only get worse. Someone who does this is not an amazing boyfriend. This is abusive and controlling AF. Not the asshole. But he's not an amazing boyfriend. You say his paranoia over you getting pregnant forced you to go on medication that's been overall detrimental to your health. And now he's bullying you and trying to control your food choices. This isn't going to get better. He's a controlling jerk and you need to leave before things get worse. Not the asshole. Ditch the boyfriend and eat what you want. Good lord. Not the asshole. He pressured you into taking medication you don't need that caused weight gain. And now is demanding you lose it? Hell no. Fuck that guy. Pressure him into having a vasectomy. See how he likes that. Not the asshole. He's being controlling and is not amazing. Not the asshole. He doesn't sound like a good boyfriend at all. Actually, pressuring you into taking hormonal medication that you didn't want or need. which then caused severe changes in your body, which hormones can definitely do, and now pressuring you to change your diet because he doesn't like those physical changes? Absolutely the hell not. Tell him to stuff it. And find someone who isn't going to pressure you to destroy your health and self-esteem. He's no doubt an amazing boyfriend to me. X200BX doubt. Oh honey, keep whatever you want to eat in your life. And drop the boyfriend. Not the asshole. He's not a good guy to you if 1. He is pressuring you to take BC you don't need or want while not himself taking responsibility for using BC, and 2. He's trying to force you to follow the same diet as him when you never consented to do so. Find someone who doesn't try to control your body like he does. Not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Stop giving in when he tells you that you can eat something and stand your ground. Oh hun, please listen to a woman much older than you who has lived through this type of man. He's great in other ways to keep up his mask. That keeps you around while he fiddles with your fertility, hormones, and weight. If you need proof that he's a bad guy, just start openly defying his wishes. Go off birth control. Eat what you want right in his face. Get a better man. Not the asshole. You do not exist solely for the benefit of your BF. If your BF doesn't want kids, he can get either snipped or use condoms. Or he can STF you about the weight gain caused by the BC that he wants you to be on. Even better, run. Because this guy is controlling you. And it will not get better. Not the asshole, but he's also not an amazing boyfriend. Not the asshole. Charlie or whoever. This is me. Wave hand from shoulder to knees to indicate yourself. This is what I look like. At present, I am fairly content with the way I look. I know you have seen me thinner. But that was before birth control, which was more your choice than mine. When such a time comes that I want to make changes to my body, I will consult you. If you have fallen for a body type skinny instead of a person me, by all means feel free to pursue other options. Info: this isn't related to the dude who posted the other day about trying to help his GF with a diet, is it? Because if it is, he got demolished as an AH. Not the asshole. Lose the boyfriend to improve your overall health. Not the asshole. Clearly tell him that he is not in charge of you and does not have the right to tell you what you can and can't eat, and that he is to make by further comments. If he can't handle this, dump him, because it will only prove that he's a controlling who only loves you when you meet his weight requirements. Not the asshole. He is not an amazing boyfriend. He is an amazing asshole. First he pressures you into birth control, I'm betting, while refusing to use condoms. Then tries to control what you eat. Dump his controlling ass and get some peace of mind for yourself. You deserve it. OMG, not the asshole. He doesn't get to choose what you eat or how you live. If he's not attracted to you, he needs to have that conversation with you or leave. Not try to not so subtly get you to lose weight without ever facing the problem head on. I love him and he's no doubt an amazing boyfriend to me. Just stop. He harassed you into birth control, which made you gain weight. Now he's harassing you about that. Can these posts go back to relationships? Just break up with him. Not the asshole. He forced you to go on birth control when you didn't need it, and is now trying to control your food intake and putting you down while he does it. Massive red flags. Please rethink the relationship. Am I the asshole? My husband treats my kids horribly compared to his own. Some context here. We're both 44. When we met, he was a single father who had sole custody of 2 kids. The mother hadn't been in the picture in years. Big-time drug user and lost all her kids. I was a single mother with 3 kids. One of the things, there were many things, but this really got me, as my kids are the most important thing in my life that I found appealing, was that he was legally raising and loving another man's child as his own. The first few years together were great. Some minor disagreements with parenting, like him calling my 3 and 4 years old sissies because they needed a nightlight to sleep. Blending families always has learning curves. I thought best to discuss with him, and we can iron out a mutual parenting plan. It seemed to work for a few years. We had all been living as one family for about 5 years. He proposed 3 months after our wedding. Things started to change. Little things at first. Comments that weren't mean, just mostly sarcastic. Then it turned into yelling if a chore wasn't done to his exact standards. Each kid had one chore a day. I was not okay with this yelling and bickering that occurred daily. Once again we talked, but he wasn't receptive and got very defensive. You let the kids get away with everything and they have no consequences. I'm a firm believer in not double punishing kids. So if a chore wasn't done correctly, I would tell to remember next time that this is also part of your chore. For example, if one was taking the trash out but didn't put a new trash bag in the trash can, it's not defiance, it's a typical kid's forgetfulness. To clarify, all 5 of the kids had this issue. He started harping on the kids more, and his kids point blank refused to do their chore. This went on for 2 weeks. He didn't say anything, so I brought it up and his response blew me away. He said, "Your kids can do my kids' chores for a while, seeing as how yours don't know how to do chores correctly, and my kids need a break." After that, he was yelling at my 3 for everything, and it said it my kids' fault that his didn't do their chores. We both worked 40 hours a week. I handled the bulk of the household chores, with the kids having small tasks like trash, putting the dishes away, folding clothes, sweeping, feeding the dogs, and I rotated the chores every week so each kid didn't get stuck with the same chore. Tired of only me and my kids cleaning up the house we all lived in, I decided to give those that did their chores a reward of extra screen time. His kids, still not doing chores, complained about not getting the extra screen time. He bought his kids each a tablet after denying my kid a tablet for her 12th b-day. I put parenting software on the tablets and only allowed them time if their chores were done. He said I was an asshole and I had no right to stop them using what he bought them. Is he right and I'm the asshole? Not the asshole, but why WBTA if you don't dump him? Please divorce him for the sake of your kids. Not the asshole. He isn't the man that you married. He put on a show until he was sure that he could manipulate you, and now his true self is out. He should be history. If you can't leave him or eject him right now, he should be forbidden to speak ill. Demand obedience. Berate your children. You should have walked when he called a couple of preschoolers sissies for a perfectly normal desire to have a nightlight. He showed you who he was, and you ignored it. Now he thinks he has you trapped, so he's letting his true self out to play. Walk now, or you will be the asshole to yourself and your kids. He does not respect you or your parenting. If you only have his words for what his ex was like, I'd take it with a king-size grain of salt, because she's out of the picture. He can raise her kids right, just like he intends to raise your kids right if you don't get the hell out of there. Your husband, for obvious reasons that he doesn't like or accept your kids. You for allowing this to continue for 5 years. Acting reasonably in the face of unreasonable behavior is not working and is not helping any of the kids. Edit typo. He called your 3 and 4-year-old children sissies for needing a night lamp, and you think this is a minor disagreement. Yeah, I'm going to say he for obvious reasons, and you cause he is mistreating your children. He doesn't contribute to the house maintenance even though you both work. And his parenting consists in favoring his kids over yours, and you are allowing this to happen. Not the asshole for rewarding your kids. But please, leave him. He's mistreating your kids. He clearly doesn't respect you. Why are you married to this guy? He is abusive to your children, so you need to leave. Leave. Now. It's absurd you are spending time asking this question rather than where do I find a divorce lawyer? Everything was good enough until after the wedding because he thought he had you trapped at that point, and a piece of paper would make it harder to leave. You have a full-time job. You have prospects. Seriously. Leave before your own kids hate you forever. Kids don't get to choose their parents, you choose your partner, and it is your job as a parent to choose one that is just as right for them as they are for you. Choosing anyone over your children is unforgivable. You're the asshole for how you are letting this man treat your children. This is not a Brady Bunch scenario. You need to get them out of there and away from this person. Your first and foremost obligation is to your children. He's wanting to play evil stepfather and doing a pretty good job of it. Step up and be the mother your children need you to be. You're the asshole. You're allowing your children to be abused by this prick. Get rid of him. He's an abuser and won't change. I had a stepdad like this do the exact same thing. He had everyone fooled. It kept getting worse until I was sleeping with a knife under my pillow. Get your children away from him. Not the asshole, but YTA to yourself for accommodation this kind of behavior. Blended families are difficult, but the cornerstone of a good relationship is that all the children are treated equally. Not the asshole. His actions sound so obviously unreasonable and unfair that I suspect he might be trying to sabotage the relationship. How does he have the power to tell you that your kids can't have a tablet? My kids are the most important thing in my life. If that is true, pack your bags. Take your kids and leave. You are hurting them by staying. By choosing an abusive man over their well-being. Do you actually love your kids? I mean, do you even like them? What kind of parent subjects somebody to that? Why aren't you taking your kids and running as fast as possible? You're only the because you put your kids in a shitty situation, and even though it keeps getting worse, it looks like you have no plans to take them out of the situation. All the whining on Reddit will not make your kids keep in contact with you after they're 18. Getting them out of that situation now, though, might. Not the asshole, but your husband is an abusive, hypocritical Save your kids. You're the asshole for letting this man blatantly bully your kids. Sorry if it's mean, but you need to see the reality. He waited until you got married to relentlessly hound your kids so he didn't have to parent his own. You guys both suck right now. You're only addressing the kids' screen time. Not the fact that your husband is the one that is telling his kids to kick their feet up while yours work. Info: why did you accept your kids can do my kids' chores as a valid way of running the household? If this is what you are seeing and you feel like you might somehow be an for addressing it, I worry that there are more and worse ways he's mistreating your kids and favoring his own that you are missing. This is a blatant display of unfairness and favoring his kids, no two ways about it. He's expecting your kids to wait on and clean for him and his children. He's making first-class and second-class types of kids for gifts. This is not a tough one.